The elevator doors opened. She walked in holding two small hands. He froze. 7 years. 7 years since he left her pregnant and broke. Now she stood there, silent, dignified, unbothered. His new girlfriend smiled beside him, unaware. Then the boy looked up. 6 years old, his father's eyes. And he said the 4 words that shattered everything. Mommy. Is that Daddy? The elevator didn't move. The air turned to stone. And the empire he built on lies began to crumble. The elevator smelled like expensive perfume and polished steel. Kang Ji-won stood beside Vanessa Harlow, his fiancée of 8 months. She was talking about the charity gala next week, something about champagne fountains and guest lists. Her voice was soft, elegant, practiced, the kind of voice that belonged in ballrooms and boardrooms. He wasn't listening. His mind was somewhere else, somewhere darker, somewhere he had trained himself not to go. The elevator hummed as it descended from the penthouse. 34 floors to the lobby. 34 floors of silence wrapped in marble and mirrors. Vanessa's hand rested lightly on his arm. Her diamond bracelet caught the light. Everything about her was polished, perfect, controlled, just like him. Ji-won was 30 years old. He had built an empire from nothing, from dirt and hunger and shame. Now he owned half of New York's underground. Clubs, ports, politicians, power. No one questioned him. No one dared. The elevator slowed. 22nd floor. The doors opened, and time stopped. She walked in. Maya? She didn't look at him, not at first. She was holding 2 small hands, one on each side. 2 boys. Identical. 6 years old, maybe. Dark hair. Serious eyes. Ji-won's breath caught in his throat. The boys looked up at their mother. She smiled at them. Soft, warm, real. The kind of smile he hadn't seen in years. Then one of them turned and looked at him. The boy's eyes were sharp, intelligent, familiar. Ji-won's heart slammed against his ribs. No. The elevator was small. Too small. The air thickened. Vanessa's perfume became suffocating. Maya stood near the control panel, her hand still holding both boys. She wore a simple coat. No jewelry, no makeup, just her. She hadn't changed. 7 years. 7 years since he left her standing outside a clinic, holding a piece of paper with an appointment she never kept. 7 years since he told her she wasn't enough. That they weren't enough. Vanessa shifted beside him, adjusting her purse. Ji-won, darling, did you confirm the car? His voice came out flat. Yes. The elevator descended. 18th floor. 17th. Maya's reflection appeared in the polished steel doors. She was looking straight ahead. Calm, unbothered, like he didn't exist. One of the boys tugged on her sleeve. Mommy, are we going to the park? Her voice was gentle. After we pick up your brother's medicine, sweetheart. Brother's medicine. Ji-won's chest tightened. The other boy, the one who had looked at him, was still staring. Ji-won forced himself to look away. He focused on the descending numbers. 15th floor. 14th. Vanessa leaned closer, whispering. Do you know her? No. The lie tasted like ash. The boy's stare intensified. Then softly, almost like a question, he spoke. Mommy. Is that Daddy? The elevator stopped. Not mechanically. It was still moving. But everything else, time, breath, sound, stopped. Maya's hand tightened around her son's. Vanessa's head turned sharply toward Ji-won. And Ji-won. Ji-won felt the ground disappear beneath him. The boy tilted his head, his small face curious but certain. He looks like us, Mommy. Like Ethan. Like me. Ethan, the other twin. He was watching now, too. Silent. Observing. Vanessa's voice was a blade wrapped in silk. Ji-won? Maya finally looked at him. Her eyes were calm. No tears. No anger. Just recognition. She didn't say anything. She didn't need to. The elevator reached the lobby. The doors opened with a soft chime. Maya stepped out first, her boys still holding her hands. She didn't look back. Vanessa stood frozen, her hand hovering near Jiwon's arm. "Jiwon," she said again, slowly, carefully. "Who was that?" He couldn't move. His empire was built on control, on precision, on never showing weakness. But in that moment, standing in an empty elevator with a woman who knew nothing about the man he used to be, he had no answer. The doors began to close, and somewhere deep inside him, something he thought was dead woke up. Jiwon didn't go home that night. He drove. Manhattan blurred past the tinted windows of his black SUV. Neon signs, headlights, shadows. The city he owned felt foreign now, like it belonged to someone else. His phone buzzed. Vanessa's name lit up the screen. He didn't answer. He drove until the buildings thinned, until the streets became quieter, until he reached the edge of the river. He parked. The engine died. Silence. His hands gripped the steering wheel. His knuckles were white. 7 years. He had spent 7 years burying her, burying them. Maya, the girl who used to laugh at his bad jokes, who used to fall asleep on his shoulder in cheap diners, who used to look at him like he was more than what he came from. He had loved her. God, he had loved her. But love wasn't enough. Not when you came from nothing. Not when your father drank himself to death and your mother cleaned rich people's houses for pennies. Not when every day was a reminder that you didn't belong. Maya was the same. Poor, struggling, beautiful in a way that didn't need money. And when she told him she was pregnant, Jiwon closed his eyes. He had panicked. He was 23, broke, angry, drowning in shame. He couldn't give her anything. He couldn't give them anything. So he left. He told himself it was mercy, that she'd be better off without him, that the baby would be better off without a father who had nothing to offer but rage and failure. He told himself a lot of things. And then he met Vanessa Harlow, daughter of a real estate mogul, elegant, connected, the kind of woman who opened doors just by walking into a room. She didn't know about his past, didn't know about the hunger, the shame, the nights he spent scraping together pennies just to eat. To her, he was Kang Ji-won, self-made, powerful, untouchable, and he liked it that way. But now Maya had walked back into his life, with 2 boys, his boys. Ji-won's phone buzzed again. This time it wasn't Vanessa, it was his right-hand man, Do-hyun. He answered. "Boss." Do-hyun's voice was calm, professional. "Vanessa's asking questions. Let her ask. She's not the type to let things go." Ji-won exhaled slowly. "I know. Do you want me to?" "No." His voice was sharp, final. "Don't touch this." A pause. "Understood." The line went dead. Ji-won stared at the river. The water was black, endless. He should go back. He should explain. He should lie. He was good at lying. But for the first time in 7 years, he didn't want to. Maya put the boys to bed at 8:30. Ethan fell asleep first, his small body curled under the blanket. Caleb, always the thinker, stayed awake a little longer. "Mommy?" "Yes, baby?" Was that man really our daddy?" Maya's chest tightened. She sat on the edge of his bed, brushing the hair from his forehead. "Why do you ask?" "Because he looked sad." Maya's breath caught. Caleb's eyes were too wise for a 6-year-old, too aware. "People look sad for lots of reasons, sweetheart." "But he looked sad when he saw us." Maya didn't know what to say, so she kissed his forehead. "Go to sleep, Caleb." He closed his eyes, but she knew he wasn't asleep. She left the room quietly, closing the door behind her. The apartment was small, 1 bedroom, a cramped kitchen, second-hand furniture, but it was theirs. She had fought for it, every inch, every breath. When Ji-won left, she was 22 and pregnant, alone, terrified. She had thought about the appointment he'd set up for her, the clinic, the easy way out. But when she sat in that waiting room, holding the paperwork, she couldn't do it. She didn't know why. Maybe it was stubbornness. Maybe it was love. Maybe it was the quiet, stubborn belief that she was enough, even if he wasn't. So she kept them, both of them. The pregnancy had been hard, the birth harder, but the moment she held Ethan and Caleb in her arms, everything made sense. They were hers, and she would burn the world down before she let anyone hurt them. Maya walked to the window. The city glowed below, endless, unforgiving. Somewhere out there, Ji-won was living his perfect life. Rich fiancé, expensive suits, power. And she was here, raising his sons, alone. Her phone buzzed, unknown number. She almost didn't answer, but something made her. Hello? Silence. Then, Maya. Her blood went cold. That voice. Deep. Familiar. Haunted. Ji-won. Another pause. I need to see you. Her hand tightened around the phone. No. Please. She closed her eyes. You don't get to do this. I know. You don't get to walk back into my life after 7 years and ask for anything. I know. Her voice cracked. Then why are you calling? Silence. And then, so quietly she almost didn't hear it. Because I saw them. Maya's throat burned. I saw them, Maya. And His voice broke. I can't breathe. She should hang up. She should block his number, move apartments, disappear. But instead she whispered, 1 meeting. That's all you get. Thank you. The line went dead. Maya stood by the window, her reflection staring back at her. She had survived without him. She had built a life, raised 2 beautiful boys, become strong. But now he was back, and the part of her she thought was healed started to bleed again. They met at a diner, not one of the expensive places Ji-won frequented now. Not the kind with white tablecloths and wine lists. This one was small. Faded booths, chipped mugs, the smell of burnt coffee and grease. It was the kind of place they used to go to, back when they were just 2 kids trying to survive. Maya arrived first. She sat in the corner booth, her hands wrapped around a mug of tea she hadn't touched. She wore the same simple coat from the elevator. Her hair was pulled back. No makeup. She didn't need it. Ji-won walked in 10 minutes later. He looked different here. Out of place. His tailored suit didn't belong. His polished shoes didn't match the scuffed linoleum. But his eyes were the same. Dark, tired, haunted. He slid into the booth across from her. For a long moment, neither of them spoke. The diner hummed around them, plates clattering, conversations murmuring, life continuing. But in their booth, time had stopped again. Finally, Ji-won spoke. I didn't know. Maya's gaze didn't waver. You didn't want to know. He flinched. She was right. He had left her number blocked, avoided the neighborhood, erased every trace of her from his life. Because it was easier. Because facing what he'd done would have destroyed him. I thought... His voice was rough, broken. I thought you'd... Get rid of them? Maya finished coldly. His jaw tightened. I thought it was the right thing. For you. Don't! Her voice was sharp now. Don't you dare tell me what was right for me. Silence. Ji-won's hands rested on the table, clenched, shaking. How... He swallowed hard. How did you... survive? Maya's smile was bitter. I worked 3 jobs. I slept 4 hours a night. I gave birth alone in a hospital where no one knew my name. Each word was a knife, and he deserved every cut. I didn't have family, Ji-won. I didn't have money. I didn't have you. Her voice cracked. But I had them, and that was enough. Ji-won's chest felt like it was caving in. I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't feed them. Sorry doesn't keep them warm. Sorry doesn't explain why their father is a stranger. He looked down. I know. Do you? Maya leaned forward. Do you have any idea what it's like to look into your child's eyes and explain why they don't have a daddy? Do you know what it's like to watch them see other kids with fathers and wonder what's wrong with them? Tears burned behind his eyes. He hadn't cried in years. Not since he was a boy. Not since he learned that crying changed nothing. But now, I was scared, he whispered. Maya's expression softened, just barely. I was 23. Broke. Ashamed. I hated myself. I hated where I came from. And I thought... He exhaled shakily. I thought bringing a child into me, would be cruel. So you left. So I left. The words hung between them. Heavy. Final. Maya looked away. They ask about you sometimes. Juwan's heart stopped. Caleb especially. He's observant. He notices things. Ethan is quieter, but he feels it too. She paused. They see other kids with fathers, and they wonder, what do you tell them? I tell them the truth. Her voice was steady. That their father wasn't ready. That he made a choice. And that we're okay without him. The words cut deeper than anything else. We're okay without him. Because it was true. She had built a life, a family, a home, and he had built an empire on lies. I want to meet them, Jiwon said suddenly. Maya's eyes snapped back to him. No. Please. You don't get to do this. I know I don't deserve it. I know I have no right. But they're my sons, Maya. And his voice broke. I need to know them. Why? Her voice was fierce now, protective. So you can play daddy for a week and disappear again? So you can ease your guilt and go back to your perfect life? No. Then why? Because I was wrong. The words came out raw, desperate. I was wrong about everything, about you, about them, about what I thought I needed to be. He looked at her, really looked at her. I thought power would fix me. I thought money would make me enough. But if this story is pulling you in, don't stop here. Inside the Romance Audio Club, you unlock full K-drama-style romance series, exclusive bonus episodes, and a private VIP community that lives for love stories like this. Scan the QR code now and continue the story where emotions go deeper. It didn't. It just made me empty. Maya's hands trembled around her mug. I don't expect forgiveness, Jiwon continued. I don't expect anything. But I want to try. I want to be something. Anything. For them. She shook her head. It's not that simple. I know. They don't know you. They don't trust you. I know. And if you hurt them... Her voice turned to steel. If you walk into their lives and break their hearts the way you broke mine, I will make sure you regret it. Jiwon believed her. I won't, he said quietly. I swear to you, Maya. I won't. She studied him, searching for the lie, the crack, the moment he'd run again. But all she saw was a man who had finally stopped running. One chance, she said finally. You get one chance. And the moment I see them hurting, it's over. Understood. And Jiwon? He looked up. Her eyes were hard, unyielding. Don't make me regret this. He nodded, because he knew the truth. He had already made her regret him once. And if he did it again, he'd lose the only thing that mattered. The park was crowded. Families everywhere. Laughter. Children running. Dogs barking. The kind of ordinary, beautiful chaos that Jiwon had never been part of. He stood near the entrance, hands in his pockets, heart hammering. Maya had texted him the location. Saturday, 10 a.m. The park near her apartment. Don't be late, and don't expect them to love you. He was 15 minutes early. Now he waited, watching. A black SUV sat parked across the street. Do-hyun was inside, watching. Jiwon had told him to stay back, to stay hidden. But Do-hyun didn't take chances. Not with his boss's life. Not even in a park full of children. Jiwon's phone buzzed. Vanessa. He declined the call. She had been asking questions. Too many questions. About the woman in the elevator. About why he'd been distant. About why he wouldn't answer his phone. He had avoided her for 3 days. But he couldn't avoid her forever. Not unless he was willing to lose everything he'd built. Everything you built on lies, a voice whispered in his mind. He pushed it away. Then, He saw them. Maya walked toward him, holding 2 small hands. The boys walked beside her, their steps cautious, curious. Jiwon's breath stopped. They were wearing matching jackets, blue. Their dark hair was slightly messy from the wind. Their faces were serious. So serious. Like they knew this moment mattered. Maya stopped a few feet away. The boys looked up at him. And Jiwon didn't know what to do. He had faced men with guns, had stared down politicians and rival crime lords, had built an empire with nothing but will and ruthlessness. But standing in front of his 6-year-old sons, he was terrified. Maya's voice was calm, steady. Ethan. Caleb, this is someone who wants to meet you. Caleb, the thinker, spoke first. You're the man from the elevator. Jiwon nodded. His throat was tight. Yes. Are you our dad? The question was simple, direct, innocent, and it destroyed him. Jiwon crouched down, slowly, so he was at their level. Yes, he said quietly. I am. Ethan, the quieter twin, tilted his head. Where were you? Jiwon's chest ached. He swallowed hard. I made a mistake, a big one. I left when I shouldn't have. Why? Caleb's eyes were sharp, too sharp for a child. Because I was scared. Of what? Of not being good enough. Caleb frowned. Mommy says being scared is okay, but running away isn't. Jiwon's eyes burned. He looked at Maya. She was watching him. Her expression was unreadable, but her eyes were soft. Just a little. Your mom is right, Jiwon said, looking back at the boys. Running away was wrong, and I'm sorry. Ethan stepped closer. Are you going to leave again? The question hit like a bullet. No, Jiwon said. And he meant it. I'm not. Promise? Ethan's voice was small now, vulnerable. Jiwon's heart shattered. I promise. Caleb crossed his arms. Promises are important. I know. If you break it, Mommy will be sad, and we'll be sad too. I won't break it. The boys looked at each other. Some silent twin communication passing between them. Then Caleb spoke again. Do you like dinosaurs? Jiwon blinked. The shift was so sudden. So childlike. He almost smiled. I don't know much about them. Caleb's eyes widened. You don't know about dinosaurs? No. Everyone knows about dinosaurs. Ethan nodded seriously. They're very important. Jiwon's smile broke through. Small. Real. Then maybe you can teach me. Caleb's face lit up. Just a little. Okay, but you have to listen. Because dinosaurs are complicated. I will. Maya's voice was soft. Why don't you two show him the playground? The boys hesitated. Then, slowly, Caleb reached out and took Jiwon's hand. It was small, warm, trusting. Jiwon's vision blurred. Ethan took his other hand, and together they walked toward the swings. Maya stayed behind, watching. Her arms were crossed. Her expression was carefully neutral. But inside she was breaking. Because she had spent 7 years hating him. 7 years building walls. 7 years telling herself she didn't need him. But watching him crouch down to push Ethan on the swing, watching Caleb explain the difference between a Tyrannosaurus and a Velociraptor with intense seriousness, watching Jiwon listen, really listen, like their words were the most important thing in the world. She felt those walls crack, just a little. 3 hours later, Jiwon sat on a bench while the boys played on the jungle gym. Maya sat beside him. The silence between them wasn't comfortable, but it wasn't hostile either. It was something else. They like you, Maya said quietly. Jiwon exhaled. They're incredible. They are. You did that. You raised them. Alone. Maya looked at him. I didn't have a choice. You did. His voice was firm. You could have hated them, resented them, but you didn't. You loved them, and you gave them everything. Her throat tightened. I don't know how you did it, Jiwon continued, but I'm in awe of you. Maya looked away. Don't what? Don't try to fix this with words. I'm not trying to fix anything. He turned toward her. I'm just telling you the truth. You're the strongest person I've ever met. She laughed bitterly. Strong? I cried myself to sleep for 2 years straight. I wanted to give up 100 times. But you didn't. No. Her voice softened. I didn't. They sat in silence. Then, what about her? Maya asked. Ji-won stiffened. Who? Your fiancé, the woman in the elevator. His jaw tightened. It's complicated. I'm sure it is. Maya, do you love her? The question hung in the air. Ji-won didn't answer. Because the truth was, he didn't know. He cared about Vanessa. She was beautiful, intelligent, connected. She fit into his world perfectly. But love? Real love? The kind that burned and broke and rebuilt you? He had only felt that once, with the woman sitting beside him. I don't know, he said finally. Maya nodded. Then you need to figure it out. Because I won't let you play house with my sons while you're engaged to someone else. I know. And Ji-won? He looked at her. If you're going to be in their lives, you need to be all in. Not part-time, not when it's convenient. All in. I will be. You say that now. I mean it. Her eyes searched his, looking for the lie, the crack, but all she saw was certainty. We'll see, she said softly. The boys ran over, breathless and smiling. Can he come over for dinner? Caleb asked. Maya hesitated. Ji-won held his breath. Please, Mommy. Ethan's eyes were wide, hopeful. Maya looked at Ji-won, then at her sons, and she realized she had already lost this battle. Okay, she said quietly, but just for tonight. The boys cheered. And Ji-won felt something he hadn't felt in 7 years. Hope. Vanessa Harlow was not a patient woman. She sat in Ji-won's penthouse, legs crossed, wine glass in hand. He hadn't answered her calls, hadn't replied to her texts, hadn't come home in 3 days. She could feel it, the shift, the distance. Something had changed. And it started with that woman in the elevator. Vanessa took a slow sip of wine. She had built her life on control, on knowing, on never being blindsided. And she would not be blindsided now. She pulled out her phone. Dialed. A man answered on the second ring. Ms. Harlow. I need you to find someone for me. Who? Vanessa's smile was cold. A woman. Late 20s. African descent. She was in the elevator at the 5th Avenue building 3 days ago. She had 2 boys with her, twins. What do you need? Everything. Name, address, employment, history. Understood. And one more thing. Yes? Find out how she knows my fiancé. The line went dead. Vanessa set down her glass. She didn't know what was happening. But she would. And when she did, she would make sure it ended. On her terms. Dinner was simple. Spaghetti. Garlic bread. A small salad Maya had thrown together. Nothing fancy. Nothing expensive. But sitting at that cramped kitchen table, surrounded by laughter and dinosaur facts and the twins arguing over who got the last piece of garlic bread, Ji-won felt something he had never felt in his penthouse. He felt home. Caleb was explaining, in excruciating detail, why the Spinosaurus was underrated. Ethan was drawing a picture of a T-Rex on a napkin. Maya was smiling. Actually, smiling. And Ji-won couldn't stop looking at them. His sons. His sons. The word still felt unreal. Do you have a big house? Caleb asked suddenly. Ji-won blinked. Yes, I do. How big? Very big. Ethan's eyes widened. Bigger than our apartment? Maya shot Ji-won a warning look. He treaded carefully. It's different, but this place is nicer. Caleb frowned. How can a small apartment be nicer than a big house? Ji-won smiled softly. Because the people in it make it home. Maya's expression softened. Just a little. The boys seemed satisfied with that answer and went back to their drawings. After dinner, Maya put them to bed. Ji-won stood in the doorway, watching. She tucked them in with the kind of care that came from years of practice, kissed their foreheads, whispered something that made them giggle. When she turned, she found Jiwon watching. Her cheeks flushed slightly. "What? You're a good mom." She looked away. "I try. You're more than that." His voice was quiet, reverent. "You're everything they need." Maya's throat tightened. She walked past him into the living room. Jiwon followed. They sat on the couch, a foot of space between them. It felt like a canyon. "They're happy," Jiwon said. "They are. Because of you." "Jiwon, I mean it, Maya." He turned toward her. "I don't know how you did it. How you kept going. How you stayed strong. I didn't have a choice. You always have a choice. You chose them. Every single day." Her eyes glistened. "What else was I supposed to do? You could have hated me. Hated them. But you didn't. I tried to hate you." Her voice cracked. "God, I tried. But every time I looked at them, I saw you. And I couldn't." Jiwon's chest ached. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "For all of it. For leaving. For not being there. For making you do this alone. Sorry doesn't change the past. I know. But maybe." He hesitated. "Maybe it can change the future." Maya looked at him. Really looked at him. And for the first time in 7 years, she let herself see the boy she used to love. "What do you want, Jiwon?" "I want to be their father. You can't just decide that. You can't just show up and..." "I know." He leaned forward. "I know it's not that simple. I know I have to earn it. But I want to try. I need to try." "And what about your life? Your fiancé? Your empire?" His jaw tightened. "I'll figure it out. That's not an answer. It's the only one I have right now." Maya shook her head. "You can't have both, Jiwon. You can't live in 2 worlds. Eventually, you'll have to choose." "Then I'll choose them." The words came out without hesitation, without doubt. Maya's breath caught. "You don't mean that." "I do. You're just feeling guilty. It'll pass, and when it does, it won't pass." His voice was fierce now, desperate. "Maya, I've spent 7 years building something that means nothing. I have money, power, respect, and I'm empty. But today I felt alive. Because of them. Because of you." Tears slipped down her cheeks. "Don't do this." "Do what?" "Don't make me hope." Her voice broke. "I can't survive you leaving again, and neither can they." Jiwon reached out, slowly, carefully, and took her hand. She didn't pull away. "I won't leave," he said. "I swear to you, I won't." "You can't promise that." "Yes, I can." She shook her head, tears falling freely now. "You don't understand. I built a life without you. I learned to be okay. And if you come back, if you make us love you again, and then you leave, I won't. You don't know that." "Yes." He squeezed her hand. "I do. Because walking away from you the first time almost killed me. And now that I know about them, now that I've seen what I threw away..." His voice cracked. "I can't lose you again. Any of you." Maya pulled her hand away, stood up, walked to the window. The city glowed below. Endless. Cold. Beautiful. "I need time," she said quietly. "I'll give you all the time you need. And I need you to figure out your life. Because I won't be the other woman. And my sons won't be your secret. I understand." She turned to face him. Her eyes were red, but her voice was steady. "If you want to be part of their lives, you need to choose. Fully. Completely. No half measures. I will. Then go." Her voice was soft but firm. "Go figure it out. And when you have, come back." Jiwon stood. He wanted to argue, to stay, to hold her. But she was right. He had built a life on lies, and before he could be the father his sons needed, he had to burn it down. He walked to the door, stopped, turned back. "Maya?" She looked at him. "Thank you for letting me meet them, for giving me a chance." She didn't respond. but her eyes said everything. Jiwon left. And as he walked down the stairs, his phone buzzed. Vanessa. He stared at her name. Then, slowly, he answered. "We need to talk," she said. Her voice was ice. "I know. My place, now." The line went dead. Jiwon exhaled. The reckoning had come, and he was ready. Vanessa's penthouse was glass and marble, cold, perfect, empty. She stood by the window, wine glass in hand, when Jiwon walked in. She didn't turn. "Who is she?" Vanessa asked. "Her name is Maya. I know her name." Her voice was sharp. "I had her investigated." Jiwon's blood went cold. Vanessa turned. Her smile was thin, cruel. Maya Torres. 29, works as a nurse, lives in a one-bedroom apartment in Brooklyn. Single mother, 2 sons, 6 years old. She took a slow sip of wine. Twins. Jiwon said nothing. "Funny thing about twins," Vanessa continued. "They usually look like their parents. And those boys," she tilted her head, "they look just like you." Silence. "Are they yours?" Jiwon met her gaze. Yes. Vanessa's expression didn't change, but something flickered in her eyes. Rage, betrayal, ice. "How long have you known?" 4 days. She laughed, cold, bitter. 4 days. And you didn't think to tell me? "I was going to." "When? After the wedding?" Jiwon didn't answer. Vanessa set down her glass. "Did you love her?" "Yes." "Do you still?" He hesitated. And that hesitation told her everything. Vanessa's jaw tightened. "I see." "Vanessa, no." She held up a hand. "You don't get to explain. You don't get to justify this. I'm not trying to. You have 2 children you never told me about, with a woman you clearly still have feelings for." Her voice was shaking now. "And you expect me to just, what, accept it?" "I don't expect anything." "Good. Because you're not getting anything." She stepped closer. "I built my life around you, Jiwon. I introduced you to my family, my world. I made you legitimate." "I know. And this is how you repay me?" Jiwon's voice was quiet. "I never meant to hurt you. But you did." Her eyes glistened. "You did." For a moment she looked vulnerable. Human. Then the mask returned. "I want you out," she said coldly. "Vanessa, get out, now, and don't ever contact me again." Jiwon nodded slowly. He deserved this. He turned to leave. "Jiwon." He stopped. Vanessa's smile was poison. "If you think you can just walk away from this world and play happy family, you're wrong. You owe people, powerful people, and they won't let you go quietly." His blood ran cold. "Is that a threat?" "It's a warning." Her eyes were hard. "You built your empire on blood and favors, and blood always collects." Jiwon said nothing. He left, and as the elevator descended, he realized the truth. Choosing his sons meant losing everything else. His empire, his reputation, his power, maybe even his life. But as he thought of Caleb's serious eyes and Ethan's shy smile, he knew it was worth it. 3 months later, the apartment was louder now. Jiwon sat on the floor, surrounded by Lego pieces and dinosaur figurines. Caleb was building an indestructible fortress while explaining the structural integrity of medieval castles. Ethan was quietly arranging his dinosaurs in what he called chronological order. Maya watched from the kitchen, a smile tugging at her lips. This had become their routine. Every Saturday, every Sunday, and most weeknights. Jiwon would show up with groceries, takeout, or sometimes just himself. He'd sit on the floor and listen to Caleb's lectures. He'd help Ethan with his drawings. He'd do the dishes while Maya put them to bed, and slowly, they had become a family, not perfect, not traditional, but theirs. "Your tower is going to fall," Jiwon said, eyeing Caleb's increasingly unstable Lego structure. "No, it won't. I used advanced engineering." "Advanced engineering?" "I watched a YouTube video." Ethan looked up. "It's going to fall. Is not. Is too." The tower swayed, then collapsed. Caleb stared at the ruins. Okay? Maybe it fell a little. Jiwon laughed. It was a sound Maya had never thought she'd hear again. Real, warm, unguarded. The man who walked into her life 3 months ago had been broken, haunted, desperate. But the man sitting on her floor now, he was healing. They all were. That night, after the boys were asleep, Maya and Jiwon sat on the couch. This had become routine too. Sitting in comfortable silence, talking about nothing, about everything. I talked to my lawyer today, Jiwon said quietly. Maya looked at him. About officially stepping down from everything. Her breath caught. Jiwon. I'm done, Maya. I'm done with that life, the empire, the lies, all of it. You don't have to. Yes, I do. He turned toward her. I can't be the father they need and live in that world. I can't be the man you deserve and keep one foot in darkness. But that's everything you built. It's everything I built on shame and fear. His voice was steady. And I don't need it anymore. What will you do? He smiled, small, real. I don't know yet, but I have time to figure it out. Maya shook her head, tears threatening. You're giving up so much. I'm not giving up anything. He reached out, gently taking her hand. I'm choosing what matters, and that's them, and you. Her heart cracked open. Jiwon, I know you're scared. I know I hurt you, and I know trust doesn't come back overnight. He squeezed her hand. But I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to prove it. Every single day, for as long as it takes. A tear slipped down her cheek. I don't know if I can do this again, she whispered. Loving you broke me once. Then don't love me, not yet. His eyes were soft, honest. Just let me stay. Let me be their father. Let me show you I've changed. And if you haven't, then you walk away, and I'll live with that. But Maya, his voice cracked, I have changed, because of them, because of you. She looked at him, really looked, and she saw it. The boy she had loved, the man he had become, and the father he was fighting to be. Okay, she whispered. Okay, you can stay. Jiwon exhaled, his eyes glistening. Thank you. She squeezed his hand back. But Jiwon, yeah? If you break their hearts. Her voice turned to steel. I won't forgive you. Not ever. I won't, he promised. I swear on everything I am. I won't. And she believed him. 6 months later, Jiwon stood in front of a small building in Brooklyn. The sign above the door was simple, Community Youth Center. He had bought it 3 months ago, quietly, without fanfare. The building had been abandoned for years. Now it was clean, painted, filled with books, sports equipment, art supplies, and computers. A place for kids who had nothing. Kids like he used to be. Do-yoon stood beside him, arms crossed. You sure about this, boss? I'm not your boss anymore. Old habits. Do-yoon smiled slightly. But seriously, you're really walking away from everything? I already did. And the families? The old alliances? Jiwon's jaw tightened. I paid what I owed. Cut every tie. They know I'm out. They won't like it. They don't have to. Do-hyun studied him. You've changed. I had to. For her? For them. Jiwon's voice was soft. For my sons. And yeah, for her too. Do-hyun nodded slowly. She's lucky. So are those boys. I'm the lucky one. The door to the center opened. Maya walked out, holding a clipboard. She was wearing jeans and a sweater. Her hair was tied back. She looked tired and beautiful. We need more chairs, she called out, and the heating system is making weird noises again. Jiwon smiled. I'll call someone. And Caleb wants to know if he can teach a dinosaur class. A dinosaur class? He's very serious about it. Jiwon laughed. Tell him yes. Maya walked over, shaking her head. But she was smiling too. She had started volunteering at the center 2 months ago, Then she'd taken a part-time coordinator position. Now she practically ran the place. "You're going to spoil them," she said. "That's the plan." Jiwon, "What? They're good kids. They deserve it." "I meant our kids. Our kids." The words hit him like sunlight. "Yeah," he said softly. "I'm going to spoil them too." Maya rolled her eyes, but her smile widened. Do-hyun cleared his throat. "I'll leave you two alone." He walked away, smirking. Maya looked up at the building. "You really did it." "We did it. This place is going to help a lot of kids. I hope so." He paused. "I want them to have what I didn't. A chance. A choice." Maya's throat tightened. "You're a good man, Jiwon." He looked at her, surprised. "You think so?" "I know so." Her voice was steady. "You made mistakes. Big ones. But you owned them. And you changed. Not everyone does that. I had a reason to change. The boys? You." Her breath caught. Jiwon stepped closer. "Maya, I know I don't deserve it. I know I hurt you. And I know trust takes time. But I need you to know something." "What?" "I love you." His voice was raw, honest. "I never stopped, even when I tried. Even when I built a whole life to forget you. I couldn't. Because you were always there. In everything I did. Every choice I made." Tears welled in her eyes. "I love you," he continued. "And I love our sons. And if you'll let me, I want to spend the rest of my life proving that I'm worth a second chance." Maya's hands trembled. "Jiwon, I'm not asking you to say it back. I'm not asking for anything. I just needed you to know." She closed her eyes. Tears spilled down her cheeks. "You really hurt me. I know. I spent years hating you. I know. And now," her voice broke. "Now I don't know what to feel." "That's okay." She opened her eyes. "Is it?" "Yeah." He smiled gently. "Because I'll wait. For as long as it takes. Whether it's a year, 5 years, forever. I'll wait." Maya let out a shaky breath. Then, slowly, she stepped forward and kissed him. It was soft, hesitant, fragile. But it was real. When she pulled back, her eyes were shining. "I don't forgive you yet," she whispered. "I understand. But I want to try." Her voice trembled. "I want to see if we can be something. Again." Jiwon's heart soared. "We can take it slow. Very slow. As slow as you need." She smiled through her tears. Okay. He pulled her into his arms, and for the first time in 7 years, they both felt whole. 1 year later, the beach was crowded with families. Caleb and Ethan ran ahead, their laughter echoing over the waves. They were 7 now, taller, smarter, still obsessed with dinosaurs. Jiwon chased after them, pretending to be a T-Rex. They shrieked with delight, running faster. Maya sat on a blanket, watching. She wore a simple sundress. Her hair was loose. The sun warmed her skin. She felt happy. Genuinely, deeply happy. Do-hyun sat beside her, eating a sandwich. "He's good with them." "He is. You made the right choice." Maya smiled. "I think so." "You think so?" "Okay. I know so." Do-hyun grinned. "Good. Because if you break his heart, he'll be insufferable." Maya laughed. Jiwon jogged back, breathless. The boys were building a sandcastle nearby. He collapsed onto the blanket beside Maya. "I'm getting old," he groaned. "You're 31. "Exactly, ancient." She shook her head, smiling. He reached out, taking her hand. It was natural now. Easy. They had taken it slow, like she'd asked. Dates, conversations, building trust brick by brick. And 6 months ago, she had told him she loved him. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't planned. They were washing dishes after dinner. The boys were watching a movie. And she just said it. "I love you." He had frozen. Soapy hands dripping, eyes wide. "What?" "I love you," she repeated, steady, Sure. I didn't want to. I tried not to, but I do. He had kissed her then, desperate, grateful, whole. And every day since, he had made sure she knew she hadn't made a mistake. Now, sitting on the beach, watching their sons play, everything felt right. Marry me, Jiwon said suddenly. Maya blinked. What? Marry me. He turned toward her, his eyes serious. I don't have a ring. I didn't plan this. But I don't want to wait anymore. I want to be your husband. I want to be their father. Officially, legally, completely. Her heart pounded. Jiwon. I know it's fast. I know we're still rebuilding. But Maya. His voice cracked. I've wasted so much time. I don't want to waste another second. Tears filled her eyes. You're serious? I've never been more serious about anything in my life. She looked at him. At the man who had broken her heart. At the man who had fought to earn it back. At the father who read bedtime stories and built Lego towers and taught their sons that mistakes could be forgiven. Yes, she whispered. His eyes widened. Yes? Yes. She laughed through her tears. Yes, I'll marry you. Jiwon pulled her into his arms, kissing her deeply. Do-hyun whistled. Finally. The boys looked over. What's happening? Caleb called. Jiwon stood, pulling Maya to her feet. Come here, boys. They ran over, curious. Jiwon crouched down. I asked your mom to marry me. Ethan's eyes widened. Like in movies? Exactly like in movies. What did she say? Caleb asked. Maya smiled. I said yes. The boys stared at each other. Then they erupted. Yes! We're getting a real family. Can we have a party? Can I wear a tux? Jiwon laughed, pulling them all into a hug. Maya wrapped her arms around them, her family, messy, imperfect, built on second chances and hard-fought trust. But theirs, 2 years later. The house was bigger now. 3 bedrooms, a backyard, a kitchen where everyone could fit around the table. It wasn't a mansion. It wasn't a penthouse. But it was home. Jiwon stood in the doorway watching. Maya was in the kitchen, laughing at something Caleb was saying. Ethan was drawing at the table. A baby girl, 9 months old, was babbling in her high chair. Mia, their daughter. She had Maya's eyes and Jiwon's smile. And she was perfect. Daddy, Caleb called. Come settle this. I say a stegosaurus could beat a triceratops. Ethan says I'm wrong. You are wrong, Ethan said calmly. Am not. Jiwon walked over, kissing Maya's cheek before sitting down. Actually, they wouldn't fight. Different time periods. Both boys groaned. Maya laughed. He's right, you know. Doesn't matter. Caleb muttered. Stegosaurus would still win. Jiwon smiled. This was his life now. Dinosaur debates, sticky high chairs, bedtime stories, homework help, no empire, no power, no fear, just love. And it was everything. That night, after the kids were asleep, Jiwon and Maya sat on the back porch. The stars were bright. The air was cool. She leaned against him, her head on his shoulder. Happy? She asked softly. More than I ever thought possible. No regrets? Not a single one. He kissed her hair. You? She smiled. No. This is exactly where I'm supposed to be. They sat in comfortable silence. Then Maya spoke again. You know what's funny? What? 7 years ago, I thought my life was over. I thought I'd lost everything. And now? Now I realize I didn't lose anything. She looked up at him. I was just waiting for you to find your way back. Jiwon's throat tightened. I'm sorry it took so long. It was worth the wait. He pulled her closer. And under the stars, surrounded by the quiet sounds of their sleeping children, Jiwon finally understood what he'd been searching for his whole life. Not power, not money, not control. Just this. A family. A home. A second chance. And a love that refused to die. The end. Love K-dramas and romantic stories? Step into the Romance Audio Club. Experience full romantic series in thrilling parts each month, unlock your bonus story, and join a VIP community of fellow romance fans. Don't miss the next chapter of your favorite love story. Scan the QR code now and start your adventure today.